One day, while exploring the forest region of Fallout 76 near the town of Flatwoods, we see a bunch of robots near a large building. As we get close, we hear an automated message.
Automated warning to all responders. The Mr. Farmhands are out of control. Evacuate civilians and take down those supervisors. Once they're dealt with, you'll have to reboot the server. Again.
This starts the event Fertile Soil. We are now tasked with killing 3 supervisors. Those supervisors are projectrons, and we find the first one located on the road directly across from the large building. This location is known as the Vault-Tec Agricultural Research Center. The other robots are Mr. Handy's, and they have some interesting dialogue.
Scanning for fertilizer. Returning to normal operations. Alert. Possible source of compostables detected. Potential source found. Initialize scanning protocol. Detecting potential composting target. Vault-Tec wishes you a happy day on the farm. Stand still. Your biological materials required. Welcome to the farm of the future from Vault-Tec. Your cooperation is required. Please stand still. Welcome to the Vault-Tec farm.
The second supervisor is on the road and is located behind the research center near a large domed hangar. This also happens to be a random encounter hotspot, and as such, this will usually take care of this supervisor for you. The final supervisor is located behind the research center where the greenhouses are located. Once the final supervisor is killed, we again hear an automated message.
Automated message. The Forest Watch detects all supervisors down. Good job. Responder team, proceed to the Ag Center and get to the mainframe. You need to reset the farmhand targeting parameters. That should keep our people safe in the area. Be careful.
We are now tasked with changing the Mr. Handy farmhand's targeting parameters. This will take us inside the research center. Inside, we find many farmhands. After dealing with them, we can explore the research center. There are 3 floors to this location. We are going to start by going to the top floor. On the top floor, there are several offices, and in one office cubicle, we find a terminal labeled Veterinary Records Terminal. Reading the terminal, Veterinary Records, error, no connection. This terminal is one of 3 that are found at this location, and the only time there's any information on them is when we are sent here as part of the Pit Daily Mission, Code Blue. I will be covering that daily mission and all the possible outcomes in a future episode. For now, let's continue to explore the facility. The next office we find on the top floor is McFadden's office. McFadden was a responder and was the person in charge of getting this facility operational. On his desk, next to a terminal, is a note titled Note to Marge. Reading the note, Marge, I miss you and the boys more than life. Don't think I'm a coward. I'm using what God gave me to help the only way I can. This agricultural center's a chance to feed all the people. I'll get it done. I'm close. I can feel it. McFadden. Then, reading the terminal, McFadden's personal log. April 3rd, 2093. Facilities all busted. Tried restarting the generator, but the fusion core's spent. Every able-bodied soul is busy fighting, not growing crops. The people need this. July 19th, 2093. Responders came through with the fusion core, plugged it in, and the whole place lit up. What a sight! But all of the Mr. Farmhands are hunks of metal. January 21st, 2094. Heard we lost a battle near Grafton. Got to get the farming up before it's too late. People are starving out there. Got one farmhand online. All the Vault-Tec terminals were fried. Having to figure this out on my own. June 12th, 2094. Success! The whole fleet of Mr. Farmhands are up and idling, but they won't move. Just got their vocal circuits back online. Keep complaining about fertilizer. Just plant the seeds. Any yield at all is better than nothing. November 11th, 2094. Got into the central memory thing for the farmhands. Running out of options. I'm not a robot tech, so I'm doing the best I can. I haven't heard from anybody. Not even Marge. But if anyone's out there, they'll need food. Just got access to the core settings. I'll fiddle with the fertilizer settings. Maybe if I set it to 0, they'll just start planting. So McFadden was doing everything that he could to get this facility up and running, but he was on his own as everyone else was busy fighting the Scorched and defending against raider attacks at the same time. McFadden was consumed by the need to contribute in the only way that he knew, and that was getting people fed. It certainly was a noble goal, but based on this event, he never quite finished. Moving out of his office, we head down the hall to the final office where we find the second veterinary terminal. The only thing left is the staircase, and that is what connects each floor. So going back down to the main floor, we find storerooms, bathrooms, and a lab. There is a chemistry station, and we can take this opportunity to scrap down. In the lab, there is a bunch of scrap and a few dead scientists from before the war, but nothing of any real note. That just leaves us the basement. Heading down the stairs, we find another dead scientist in a nook under the stairs, and turning around, we find a group of ghouls. After dispatching them, we can head into the mechanical room where the fusion generator is found. We find some scrap and a desk with a terminal. Next to the terminal is a note titled Note to Mac. Reading the note, Mac, we need you. The Scorched were seen over by Tilly's farm. They're staying with us now, but it's only us and the children. All the men are at Morgantown, and we haven't heard from them in weeks. You've been away so long working on those damned bots. Come home. Love, Marjorie. This note must have been sent around the time of the last entry on McFadden's terminal. This may explain why he never finished his work. Reading the terminal, Vault-Tec Ag Center Terminal. For Vault-Tec use only. Vault-Tec facility orientation, data corrupted. Mr. Farmhand's programming, locked. Admin override. Core Farmhand settings, settings locked, read only. Crop expansion, 75%. Crop maintenance, 100%. Fertilization protocols, 110%. Internal diagnostics, 0%. Self-preservation, 25%. Change farmhands targeting parameters. Admin lock. Targeting parameters have been hard-locked by automated supervisors. Error log and administration lockdown can only be overwritten if all automated Vault-Tec supervisors are temporarily put in offline mode. Remove human class from target list. Admin lock override. Successful. Targeting class Homo sapiens removed from active target list. Have a nice day. With that, the event is complete. As we finish inspecting the basement, we find more scrap and what appears to be a storeroom. There is a set of double doors, and as we enter the next room, we find more ghouls. On a desk directly in front of the doors is the third veterinary terminal. We find more scrap, another chemistry station, and an end-of-dungeon steamer truck. This section of the basement is flooded, and there is little of interest here. On the platform in the corner of this room is a machine. This is a composting machine, and it has a terminal connected to it labeled Compost Depot Terminal. Reading the terminal, Vault-Tec Compost Depot. Central Compost Depot Storage. Command, Previous Cycle Logs. Biological Harvest. 11 mole rats, 1 rad scorpion, 3 rad stags. Cycle Harvest total. 14.32 kilograms of usable compost. Supplemental material: 31 9mm ammo, 3 bobby pins, 1 fragmentation grenade. Note: Unit 017.3 went offline, adjusting search protocols to include more aluminum, electronics, and copper to replace 17.3. The crops must grow. Supervisor assignments: Supervisor 1.13F, coordinate farmhands outside 0.0.0. Escalate relevant detection data to 001-VT-AG-RC. Supervisor 2.02B, coordinate farmhands retrieval protocols at 13.1.14. Supervisor 3.11J, coordinate farmhands retrieval protocols at 19.3.104. Monitor transmission site for new firmware updates from Vault-Tec. The crops must grow. Near this compost machine is a small storeroom and a short hallway to another section of this facility, but that is now blocked by rubble. I wonder what could have been beyond this section. Since this is a Vault-Tec facility, is it possible there could have been a secret vault here? We may never know. What we do know is that McFadden did leave, as we do not find his body here. We also don't know if he made it to his family. Did they perish, flee Appalachia, or did they simply find a place to hide from the scorched? This remains unanswered. So many questions and no real answers to be found. One thing is for sure, I really hope Bethesda revisits this story at some point in the future. This event is one of the few events that only spawns when you enter the area near this facility, so if you want to participate in it, head on over and give it a try. The event itself is quite easy at higher levels. This is also a great location to loot if you need fertilizer. There is a lot of it here. There is a chance to find 4 bobbleheads here, one on the main floor in the men's restroom in a urinal, one in the lab inside one of the refrigerators, and one on the top floor in a filing cabinet drawer, and one in the dry section of the basement near the empty filing cabinet. You may also find 4 magazines here, one on the top floor next to the sleeping bag in McFadden's office, one on the top floor in the office on a desk next to a broken terminal, one on the top floor in the storeroom on a metal shelf, and one in the basement on one of the metal shelves. One of the other side quests that we have available for us to do is called Personal Matters, and this location has one of the holotapes that we need to collect. I did not cover that in this episode because that quest deserves its own episode, so stay tuned for that. This event may be triggered once every 2 hours and gives standard event rewards. It is a responder event in case that was not obvious, and that about does it for this episode. Have you completed this event in your playthrough? Did you know the lore behind this location? Sound off in the comments below. While you're at it, like, subscribe, and share. And as always, I'm just glad you stopped by, and I'll see you in the next one.